I'm going to quickly now walk through a presentation talking about some of the technologies that we've been involved with developing. And interestingly, there is some overlap with some of what Jennifer just talked about with some of the things that we've been involved with. And I am paying attention to the time, and I do know that lunch is around the corner, so I'm moving fast here, so forgive me for that. Several things that we've developed that folks can use from a smartphone. First, you may have heard us talk about LETS, L-E-T-S. That is our location-enhanced ticket search. Secondly, our electronic white lining application, and of course TRE we just talked about a few minutes ago. LETS is something that we've rolled out within the last year. If you have a GPS-enabled smartphone, you can use that now. It's really more of a web page and not necessarily an application. lets.va811.com. Go to that page. Your phone may ask you, hey, can I use your location? And of course, you'll answer that yes. And then when you come to this page, you have a drop down here that allows you to change the buffer anywhere from 5,000 feet to 2,000 feet in increments of 500 feet. Yes, Blair?
Steve, I just want to remind folks, see that little question mark up there on the left? It has the instructions on how to use the whole system right there.
And also has some information about devices that we know work with this and some phone devices which don't necessarily. But certainly once you pick your buffer and hit the GPS search button, you'll get a list of valid misutility tickets that are within that buffer. Just a few moments ago, I happened to hit LETS on my phone, and within a 1,500-foot radius of where we are, there are 10 valid misutility tickets. A number of them are projects, that the Virginia Tech folks have implemented that are taking place here on campus. But it gives you the ability to see those valid tickets. You'll notice there are hyperlinks on the left to the ticket numbers. There's also positive response information. When those hyperlinks are highlighted like that, that means that there is positive response information that folks can check. By clicking on one of the ticket numbers, you have the ability on your phone to see the dig site polygon that was mapped in our ticket entry or web ticket entry. You also have the ability to see some of the details of that ticket, and as well, at the bottom of the screen, the ability to check the positive response status on that ticket. So it's a real quick, nice, easy tool for utilities to use as they're out and about, making sure that excavators have valid tickets. Also good for contractors to use. If you have subcontractors who work for you, give you the ability to make sure that they're doing things like they're supposed to and they have a valid ticket. Our electronic white lining application, many of you are familiar with that. We first started that as part of the Virginia Pilot Phase 1 application or pilot project, allowing folks with a smartphone to go out and create a misutility ticket based on capturing GPS points, electronically white lining that job site. We still have a handful of folks who are using this application. In the current format we have, it's an older application that just uses an older Windows mobile application. However, we're working on a rewrite of this into HTML5. Right now, Williams Gas Pipeline is involved in doing some work with GTI, the Gas Technology Institute, on a version, and we may be implementing the possibility of looking at a version as well. But these being done in HTML5 so that folks with Androids or iPhones or iPads or any type of tablet type of mobile device has the ability to go out and do that electronic white lining process. TRE we talked about before. You saw the video we showed allowing folks to do update tickets, remark tickets, and cancels. UCAMS is something that I think we've mentioned at membership meetings in past, our Utility Coordinating Awareness Mapping System. This is the ability for folks in an area to enter joint projects and be able to help work together so that there are potential conflicts that can be avoided by that sharing of information. We currently have a group of Roanoke area utilities who are testing this out for us right now. This is the portal page to be able to log in. But you see there's all kinds of different tabs that we'll have with UCAMs, including the ability to put in information about projects, look at potential conflicts that might exist with someone else's project, and then be able to see the details of their project. So hopefully working together folks can come to some resolution. I know part of the goal with this too is to as well have paving schedules from VDOT or the municipality, so that potentially there's some cost savings there. If there are a couple of projects that might involve digging up the road, and then the road repair costs, maybe if that can be coordinated, there's only one cost that's there, and it helps save folks some money too. So the dashboard, of course, that we just saw helps to identify what some of those conflicts are, and then the users have the ability to communicate. About this time a year ago, we implemented a pilot using satellite technology, and in particular looking at how we could help with satellite technology with monitoring of pipeline right-of-ways in particular. That was what was done, and using satellite technology. Some examples of how some of the methods that are currently used to monitor pipelines. And since Rick Marchenko's wife drives a Subaru, we had to throw a Subaru in here as well. But there are, folks do actually, are out in trucks even to help monitor pipelines. This was using satellite technology again to help monitor that pipeline. To give something else, we did a pilot from October 2011 to March of 2012 where we were gathering data. If you're familiar with Google Maps or our ticket entry or member mapping and the VGen orthos and so on and so forth, you're used to seeing nice, beautiful images like this that help clearly depict where things are. Unfortunately, my friend Mr. Marchenko's got a wealth of data at his disposal, and as you can see, unfortunately, there are times when clouds get in the way, and you can't always get that nice, clear visual of what's taking place with that ortho type of image. So as a result of that, radar satellites were chosen to be used for this particular pilot. So what you're going to see are images that look like this, and then when there's some sort of anomaly, something that might be on the pipeline, you're going to see some kind of reflection, if you will, that looks like this. What we did with the pilot, when we received these sorts of anomalies, then we're providing feedback directly to the utilities who were in this pipeline area, getting them to go and check and see what it was, so then we could pass this information back on to the satellite technology folks and help them with refining their process. Because as you can see, there are all kinds of possibilities of what that anomaly might be. Again, we would notify folks when tickets were in that area. We'd also notify them when those targets existed. We chose an area in Fairfax County that I believe is 30 miles by 30 miles. We did that because there were 6 of our utility members who had critical pipeline facilities in that area. So that allowed us for this testing to provide a little more bang for the buck, maximize the number of anomalies that might be seen. Of course, feedback is provided, and these are examples of some of the information, the communication that went back and forth between us and the pipeline folks who helped us with this. The data is in. We've reported that data, and we're hoping that an analysis of this pilot will be out in the near future to help with this proof of concept. We talked already about the phase 1, the electronic white lining piece. You all may remember a couple of years ago. Wow, this is moving on its own. I thought I deactivated it. We involved folks in phase 2, which is similar to what Jennifer was talking about that Draper Aiden is doing for them. As a locator goes to the job site to locate the underground utility, they also are capturing GPS points along the way so that that information then can be uploaded to the utilities records so that hopefully they're getting a more accurate awareness of where the underground utility actually is. Several of the things that were benefits of this were to help not just with the data collection, but to move from hand-drawn manifests to nice, beautiful manifests that potentially can show up over orthophotography. Rick, your presentation must be animated, and I don't know about it. or there's a ghost in here. But it helps with providing more accurate information for the utility, more accurate information for the excavator to know what to expect. Magellan worked with us in developing a GPS application to use with their locator, and you can see some of the different views that are available with the ways to see the data. Also, for an excavator, if they were excavating in an area where there was an electronic manifest, they would receive that information on a hyperlink through the positive response information. Single address tickets is something that we're hoping to implement possibly by the end of the year. This will be an application accessible through our website that will allow folks with single address tickets. In some areas of the country they call this a homeowner ticket, but we're proposing that this would be done for excavators as well who do single address tickets. But basically a ticket where we can find an address is entered, there's a direct correlation between that address and parcel data that we have and the road center line data that we use. If we're getting all those things to agree, then we're going to allow that ticket to be processed. If those things don't agree for whatever reason, then that particular person's still going to have to call 811 and get assistance. EWAS, our excavator work order system, is something that we've been working on that would allow excavators to, in advance, set up work orders, build things in the system, and do more in the way of planning to schedule work, and essentially go one place to be able to do that and have their interface with our web ticket entry, as opposed to doing a work order and then having to repeat that same information through web ticket entry. We're doing some work right now with Norfield, our software developer, on a couple of updates, but we're hoping within the next week or two to start some of the initial stages of testing testing EWAS. S&N Communications has been kind enough to volunteer to help us with that. So some of the different screens that you would see in EWAS. Okay. Web ticket management system. Unfortunately, this is one of our underutilized tools. We've had this available for a number of years. It's a ticket receiving, ticket management software that any of the utility operators can use at no cost. It helps with managing your ticket workload. There's the ability in here to not just receive tickets and respond to tickets, but also to do things to help route tickets based on mapped areas, route them specifically to locators in the field if you have the ability with air cards and laptops, or doing things by defining those territories text-wise. I believe we have maybe 9 of our folks who are using this. Loudon Water, Northern Virginia, has been using this since about 2005 and really likes it a lot. They're definitely the biggest user that we have using that. Any of these things, if you're interested in any of them, feel free to talk to Rick, talk to Blair, Tracy, Jennifer, or me, sorry, and 5 years of bad habits, and we'll definitely be happy to talk with you in these things about these things further. Building permits, encroachment notification. This is something that we developed to help give utilities more of an advance notice of when bigger projects are taking place, not just wait until you get the excavation ticket or until you get the designer ticket, but at that building permit process stage, months in advance, be able to get advance notice about what's going on. Unfortunately, we haven't had a lot of interest in this, both from the municipality side and from the utility side, but we still keep it on the books because we would like to use this. We think that this is something that it would be really, really great to help with furthering the cause of damage prevention. Our IT staff has the ability to create custom maps for you using some of the data that's in our system. This is just merely an example of looking at update tickets and where they occur overlaid over maps. This can be done for any ticket type. This can be done basically based on any type of query that you might want to run looking at ticket data. Rick and Marcy can help create some of these maps for you for your benefit. So if you have the need for this type of thing, let us know. Our encroachment notices allow you to get an extra buffer, if you will, around some of your critical facilities, so that if you have your polygon already defined, for the normal excavation, but you want to know about some things that are taking place beyond that, you can receive those notices. You do not have to have a positive response for those because that's an extra area that you're just checking on. You're not necessarily looking to go out and put paint on the ground exactly. This is just an extra buffer to the area that you've already defined as your notification area for tickets. So you see the example here, this being a dig site polygon that intersects with your notification area, that would be a ticket that would require positive response. Where the lower one here is intersecting in your encroachment notice, you would get that notice, but you would not have to respond to positive response on that particular ticket. LOMs, look over my shoulder. This is something that we developed in-house that we've had for 2 years now, if my memory's right. It's the ability for our damage prevention specialists to work with callers who are working on a difficult to find area on the map, perhaps an area where there's a new subdivision, there's new construction, and our maps aren't quite up to where what's actually taking place out in the field. What happens is our DPS, they're looking at the map, and what they can do is essentially capture a screenshot of the map. They provide a code to their caller. The caller goes to a specific web page, enters the code, and they're able to see exactly what our DPS sees. When the DPS refreshes and draws a polygon on the map, the user can refresh on the other end, and they're able to see exactly what the DPS is drawing. It's been a great tool to help us in those areas that are a little bit difficult to find and difficult to describe sometimes. If you're interested in any of those things, let us know, because we'd love to help you with those things. We think they're all great tools to help further the cause of damage prevention.